Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Robin here, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a review of Enbridge, which is a very popular Canadian natural gas company here on this channel. So I've been wanting to review Enbridge as it's such a popular high dividend based yield company in Canada for quite a while. In fact, in my last video where I did my dividend investing case study, where every single week I buy dividend stocks and I build a portfolio from scratch, I actually bought Enbridge for the first time. And this is a company that I really like, and after researching and checking out the company more, I think this is a really great opportunity for a lot of people to buy into a company that is really undervalued right now and a very, very solid dividend stock, especially if you're Canadian. Alright, so before we jump into the video and we talk about Enbridge in further detail, I just want to say, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you guys are new to the channel and you want to see more Canadian based stocks and Canadian based investing, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you guys can see more videos. And thank you for everybody who does that. And one last thing I want to mention before we go in is I did do a review of Air Canada. Air Canada it's interesting because Air Canada is a completely different stock. In fact, I'm going to be comparing Air Canada to Enbridge in a future video because I think these two stocks are vastly different, and it's cool to look at the differences. So check out the video, guys, if you guys have some time if you want. Otherwise, let's jump into Enbridge and let's see what Enbridge is all about. Alright guys, what's up? We're in my computer here, and before we jump in the video, I just want to point out that look at all these news articles, and if you guys have been paying attention to a lot of websites and other people on YouTube right now, a lot of people based out of Canada are saying that Enbridge is a pretty solid stock buy right now. You can see all these different articles saying like Enbridge it's solid. They recently just increased their dividend yield and stuff like that, and there's just a lot of news around Enbridge, and they're saying that this is such a good company to buy right now, and I kind of agree. I think that Enbridge is a pretty solid company, and I'm going to kind of explain in this video why I think that is. But like you can just see all the news articles, everybody's saying buy Enbridge right now, and there's just a lot of Enbridge is a pretty popular stock right now, and for a really good reason. So I'm gonna go in here and we're gonna look at the price, and I'm gonna talk about the company as a whole before we go in any further here, because I think it's always important to look at the company itself before you actually get into like very specifics and stuff like that. We're going to be talking about like the dividend yield and all that stuff throughout this video. So Enbridge is a natural gas distribution company based out of Alberta. They've been around you can see here at the bottom it says 1949. So they've been around for about 50-60 years. So this right off the hop is always a good thing. It's always a good thing when you see a company has been around for a long time, because it proves that they've stood the test of time. And you can see here that since they first started in 1995, this is just I don't know how much like stock information we have about the company, but this is just what it shows on Google. But nonetheless, we can see here that it started off as $3 Canadian, and over time it just kind of slowly risen with a little bit of dips here and there, obviously with the markets and stuff like that. And then in about 2010, Alberta, I'm sure most of you guys are aware of this if you're Canadian, but just in case if you're not, we'll cover it. Around this time, Alberta had the oil industry went huge, and Enbridge does use oil. They are an oil-based company, but there's a big difference with Enbridge and other oil-based companies, and we'll talk about that a little bit further on. But oil is one of the things that they use as power and whatnot. So Enbridge, like when oil went up in price and in Alberta, like the oil fields went crazy and people were going crazy with oil, Enbridge obviously kind of benefited from that in a sense, right? You can see like this, like the prices for everything went up, the stock went up quite a bit, and it went all the way up to about 2015, it looks like. And I don't know exactly when the oil crash happened. Somebody, like, I don't remember. I just remember it was a couple years ago. And you can see here that I think this is where this dip is coming from. Like, this is like the oil went down a little bit. But you can see here that Enbridge actually didn't suffer major losses per se. In fact, and I'm going to talk about why Enbridge suffering losses isn't really that big of a deal, and I'll give you a hint. It's because of the dividend yield. But you can see it kind of rebounded, and it went up and down and up and down, and then it kind of went back up. And then when the whole stock market went down about a couple months ago, when we had that big crash, you can see that they went down to about $40 Canadian. So a little bit of a crash there, but everything crashed at that point. And the big thing about Enbridge that I think really makes it separate than other companies based out of Alberta is it's not just oil. Like, they work with gas, they work with utilities, they work with power, they even work with non-renewable energy sources like wind and solar. So to me, when I look at this, and this is how I think they've been able to kind of withstand this, and this is why I think they're going to withstand this oil crash that's happening right now. I don't know if you guys are aware, but oil is like, the price is going like down, and there's a lot of oil stocks that are having really trouble right now. I think Enbridge is going to survive this because, number one, they're diversified, so they got a lot of different things going on there, and that's going to allow them to even though oil might suffer, or a part of that stock might suffer, they're going to learn and they're going to do better in other areas. And then when the price of oil does kind of go back up at some point in time, it's probably going to go up in value too. So I think they're a pretty solid company because they just have so much diversification and they've been around forever. Like, everybody's going to need power. Like, power is never going to go away. Like, this is something that Alberta should have done when they crashed. They put all their eggs in one basket. It's kind of like investing. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket, because if you put them all in one basket, when things crash, you're going to be in a rough spot. And this is why I think Enbridge is such a solid company. Once again, there's always going to be risk and stuff like that, and I would never ever recommend you guys put all your money into one company. But I do think if you're building like a dividend-based portfolio and you're going to kind of invest into different areas, maybe you invest in a couple ETFs and stuff like that, Enbridge is definitely one of those companies that you can add to your portfolio. In fact, I even added to my portfolio myself in the last video, because it's such a good stock, and the dividend yield is crazy. We're going to talk about that in a second. You can see here that on this chart it says the dividend yield, I'm just going to zoom in here so you guys can see this, it's actually 7.87%. Now, this is with the dividend yield before. They actually increased their dividend yield recently. I'm going to go to their website because I think it says on their website here what they actually increased it to. So I'm just going to go to Enbridge.com here, and I think they actually increased it to, if I remember correctly, actually I got to go to Enbridge dividend. We'll type dividend. There we go. We can see here that Enbridge actually, in December 2019, they announced a 9.8% increase to their dividend per share, increasing the quarterly dividend to 0.80 cents basically, which translates to $3.24 dividend per share on an annual basis. That is insane. That means you're getting $3.24 for each share that you own of the company on a yearly basis. So that's quite a bit. And keep in mind that they could cut their dividend at any point in time, but the sign that they're increasing it over time, and they always have increased it. In fact, we're going to look at the history of this dividend, but they've been known to increase their dividend over time for a long period of time. So that basically just means that they're staying true to things. They're keep increasing their dividend. And if you want to talk about high dividend growth stock, this is a perfect example of that. It's a stock that over time, it traditionally has a high. It looks like I think they've updated it on here. So 8.53%. They've traditionally over time have increased their dividend, and it's a high dividend yield to begin with. So with a high dividend yield like this stock doesn't have to have crazy returns, because you're getting 8% right now. Guarantee. Well, I don't want to say guarantee, but as long as they keep their dividend the same, right? You're getting an 8% increase in value every single year. So the stock could technically even go down like 2%. You're still getting a 6%, return. So that's the power of these high dividend yield stocks, is that they don't need to go up a lot in value. They just need to have a high dividend yield, because that's where you get most of the money was from the dividends. And once again, you can see here, guys, like this is limited data. Obviously, it only goes down to 2013, but you can see here. Sorry about the ads here. Jesus. It slowly increases it over time. So it starts at 30 cents, 40 cents, and then it just 50 cents, and they've slowly increased that dividend over time as time goes on. So right now, the reason why I think this stock is such a good buy is because when the stock went down in price, you're still getting that dividend. So you're still getting 8%, 7-8%. They might cut it a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. But let's just say you're still getting 7-8%, right? Now, with that stock being undervalued right now, if you buy in right now, that stock will increase once the market kind of recovers. So you'll get that nice dividend yield plus a stock increase over the next couple of years, I would imagine. And with the stock being being the price it is right now, I'm just going to look it up really quickly. You can see that it's $41 Canadian. At its highest point, let's go the past 6 months so we can actually see. We can see that it was about $56 Canadian. And it's got a pretty big drop down. So it kind of recovered a little bit. So obviously, best time to buy would have been right here, obviously. But nonetheless, it's still a great time to buy. It's still sitting at $40 Canadian. If it's gonna rebound, it could even just go up like $5 or $10 by end of the year, and you're still getting a nice solid increase if you invest it. But once again, just be careful. Don't put all your money into Enbridge. Just put a little bit of your money if you're building out a high dividend portfolio. I think this is a solid stock to stick into your portfolio, and I would highly recommend it. Now, before we end this video, I just want to say, guys, thanks for watching. If any of you guys have any comments to share, like, are you guys buying Enbridge stock? I know my last video where I bought Enbridge stock, a lot of you guys were saying, like, you know, you've owned Enbridge, it's such a good stock, you guys have bought a lot. Are you guys buying stock? Are you still buying Enbridge stock? What do you guys think of Enbridge stock? Do you think it's a good buy right now? What do you guys think of the dividend yield increase? Do you think that's a good move? Do you think it's going to stay up? Let me know in the comment section of this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And once again, if you guys want to get more Canadian-based stock reviews and analysis and Canadian-based investing tips, be sure to subscribe to the channel, as I do publish videos on a regular basis. So thank you guys for joining me here today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.